Hey and welcome. Let me talk in this video about null safety, which is one of most important features that added to Kotlin. So to get started, I will get a new file, and this file I will name it null safety. Okay. So let me show you what I mean by null safety by creating a new function, which is main function, have arrays as input, which is part from array of string. Okay, and open a bracket, close it. So this main function. When I define variable, and this variable is supposed name, it is name, and this name I say, hey, name is string. Okay. When I go to the next step, I say name equal Hussein, and I print this name by saying, hey, print name in this way. So what I mean by that, I mean, hey, defining variable, giving it specific data type, which is string, and then assign value to that variable, then print that value. This is normal process that you already learned. So what if this variable maybe have a null value? So now if I just give this variable null value, it will not work. Why? Because when you define a variable in Kotlin and you didn't say this could have a null value, he will reject it. You say, hey, you cannot add null in this variable. This variable have to have real value, and this is important thing. So when you said, okay, this variable maybe have a null value, you add this colon after it. So when you add this one after it, or this question mark, you mean, okay, this variable could have null. So now when you print it, you would see null in the output, or you could see null in the output without any problem, or you could also give it a value. So adding this question mark, you say, hey, this variable could have value and could have null. But in specific case, I want to make sure this variable have a value. And if it doesn't have value, I have to throw into errors. So now if I just give it null, there is no problem. I could say run, and the application still run without any problem. Still he give me, hey, null. But in some cases, when you have specific methods, you want to make sure this method will never run unless the variable have a value. So for that reason, you add this two question mark after the variable, or this two sign after the variable. When you add this two sign after the variable, you say, okay, this variable have to have a value. If this variable doesn't have value, throw into exception. Exception mean error, stop the program. So now if you and we'll talk in details about exception later on. But see again, give me error. You say, hey, this is error. You cannot print this variable. This variable have to have value. Now if I just added value to this variable, you will not have any problem. You say, okay, that's fine, I will print it. So this important concept you have to learn, and you will see it a lot in Android. You will see many function of Android ask you to send variable with value. So when the function need variable have to have value, doesn't have null, the variable you cannot send it this way. You have to send it this way. That's mean, hey, this variable have to have value. If it doesn't have value, throw into exception, throw into error. So see now it have value, doesn't have problem. If you doesn't give it any value, you give it null value, it will be like exception, thrown to exception. So say this one exception error. So he give you error message. He say, hey, this is error. Exception mean when he get in this line, he stop the program. Exception error. I cannot continue. There's error. So this is important thing like for null safety. This adding this one prevent application from continue running if the value is null. Name it null safety. You want to save your code if the value is null. So hopefully now you understand the difference between the variable without anything. That means the variable have to have value. If you have this thing after it, that mean variable could have null. When you add this two sign after it, that is mean this variable have to have value. If it doesn't have value, thrown to exception. So hopefully you understand this fundamental of variable, and you will see it a lot in Android later on. So thank you for watching, and see you next.